For millions of people, the earliest memories of reading are defined by the tactile pages of Champak, Nandan, or Chandamama. These magazines, alongside the ancient fables of the Panchatantra, form the initial imaginative landscape for children across India. Parents often reach for these stories as a means of quiet occupation, vibrant distractions meant to fill the hours of a long journey or provide a gentle bridge to sleep. Looking closer at the structure of these tales reveals a different intent. These narratives are engineered to function as psychological training sequences, specifically designed to influence how a developing mind interacts with the world. The creation of children's literature is a high-stakes act of foundational design, shaping the very way a human being learns to think and react. Educators have long described a child's mind as being as malleable as butter, completely open to receiving and retaining the patterns of its environment. Authors utilize this openness to create a safe testing ground. They take the inevitable struggles and complex frictions of adult life and translate them into simplified, manageable scenarios. By engaging with a fictional conflict, a child builds a baseline of resilience. The story functions as a delivery system for life lessons, providing a framework for handling real-world challenges before the reader ever encounters them. Because children's literature dictates developmental growth, the genre requires more than a vivid imagination. It demands a scientific grasp of how a child's cognitive capacity expands. This growth is facilitated by a linguistic ladder. Authors start with simple, repetitive phrasing that rewards a new reader with a sense of immediate mastery and confidence. As the reader progresses, the complexity increases. The text systematically introduces more varied vocabulary and sophisticated sentence structures, forcing the brain to adapt to increasingly dense information. This gradual expansion of the linguistic ceiling has a direct effect on cognitive limits, sharpening the critical thinking skills required for academic and professional success. Beyond logic, these books serve as emotional simulators. They allow a child to experience a range of human states, from deep sorrow to intense pride, within a controlled environment. Heroic tales are used to foster specific values. Seeing the Rani of Jhansi depicted in battle provides a vivid, accessible model of courage and cultural identity. When a reader witnesses a protagonist's internal struggle, they are forced to practice empathy. They must step outside their own experience to understand the motivations and pain of another person. These stories function as the primary site for cultural rooting, embedding values of compassion and integrity long before a child enters adulthood. Recognizing the power of these early narratives, India moved to treat children's literature as a serious academic and social discipline. A major turning point arrived in 1957 when pioneer K. Shankar Pillai established the Children's Book Trust, institutionalizing the production of high-quality material for young readers. The mission was clear: create materials that met strict standards for age-appropriate design and artistic quality, making developmental tools accessible to the entire population. Today, scholars like Prakash Manu continue this work by documenting the rigorous history of the genre, treating Hindi children's literature with the same historical weight as any other literary tradition. This institutional backing proves that the genre is not a byproduct of entertainment, but a deliberate tool for national development. The focus on early reading eventually intersects with the reality of national progress. The traits a child develops while reading become the foundation of their identity as an adult citizen. The cognitive stamina and moral clarity built through these stories provide the internal toolkit people use to navigate the complex responsibilities of adulthood. This mental flexibility is what allows humans to bridge the gap between abstract thought and concrete achievement. The capacity to innovate, lead, or even reach the stars depends on a mind that was taught early on how to imagine a different reality. Every major human achievement begins with the curiosity and the linguistic capacity first sparked by a childhood storybook. The actual value of this literature does not disappear as the reader grows older. For adults, returning to these books can revive a sense of creative possibility and provide a moment of clarity amidst the complications of modern life. Children's literature is a universal medium, one that builds the framework of the mind in our early years and remains a source of clarity throughout our lives.